Hello, and welcome to this edition of Energy Connects discussions with me, Julian Walker, as I speak to leading energy executives and experts around the world for Energy Connects, our global platform for the entire energy industry. Today, I'm glad to be joined by Gaurav Agrawal, CEO of Soothsayer Analytics, for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, Gaurav.
Thanks, Julian. My pleasure.
Now, let's get straight into the episode. Gaurav, what role do digital tools and artificial intelligence play in accelerating the transition towards low carbon and sustainable energy solutions?
Right. So, Julian, I'm glad that we are talking about sustainable future and how the energy or renewable energy can be used. And I'm so glad that we are discussing about these points. So today, the world is facing about pressing challenges in transitioning towards low carbon and sustainable energy solution, and to combat the climate change. And we have seen crazy weather across the globe this year, and I'm sure this is not going to be end of it. We'll keep looking at more. Now, the interesting point is how digital technologies or AI can help combat these challenges. See, we have been collecting a lot of data. When I say we, that means any industry, whether it is manufacturing and energy, utility, or everywhere, right? So during the last 5-10 years, we have also understood how we can leverage that data, understand the pattern, and then come up with some kind of a meaningful mechanism so that we can address some of the challenges, some of the problems that we were not able to solve in the past, right? So, for example, digital tools or technologies like IoT, AI, machine learning, they are very, very important to change the way energy is produced, distributed, and consumed. So when I say produce and distributed, consumed, for example, you can forecast the renewable energy production, right? By looking at the weather pattern, by looking at using solar and wind and hydroelectric energy, we can understand the patterns, how the energy is produced. And renewable energy is most of the time it is intermittent. That means it is having a lot of dependency on external factor. Weather is one of the primary one. So if I can use AI algorithm to forecast such weather patterns, so that I can optimize usage of renewable energy versus fossil fuel. So that is one of the ways how I can optimize the usage of renewable energy, and that will obviously help in reducing the carbon footprint, and that will give us the sustainable energy that can last for us with the long term. So there are a lot of examples, but I would like to focus on this one where how you can reduce, how you can supply, and how you can consume is the primary. And then yes, AI and machine learning is definitely a good ally for energy industry.
Absolutely, Gaurav, and we're going to go into AI and machine learning later in the episode. Now, could you tell me a bit more about Soothsayer Analytics and specifically, your JV with Mazrui, Soothsayer Mazrui AI, I think it's called.
Yes, yeah, thanks, Julian. So, Soothsayer Analytics, this is so Soothsayer is a data science company. We use AI machine learning to solve complex business problems, where the business can see the value coming out of the problem that we solve. So, company was incorporated in 2014. We are an American company based out of Detroit, Michigan. We work with various clients across the globe. Today, we have we serve about 45 clients in US, Europe, Middle East. We focus on manufacturing, industry, utility and energy, insurance, and then logistics and supply chain. So we have been talking with Mazrui Energy from past 1 year. We started working as partners, and recently we created a joint venture company called Soothsayer Mazrui AI. Mazrui Energy is the leader in energy sector based out of Abu Dhabi, and their expertise in domain, when I say domain, that is energy, oil and gas, and our expertise in AI is a unique combination where we are working towards creating some of the unique solution that can help energy sector in general to use of by using AI and machine learning, so that we can help every single manufacturer or entire energy sector by using this technology. So, energy is one of the segments where, or one of the sectors which is a little bit slow in adoption. So we would like to utilize our expertise in AI and machine learning, help businesses understand the importance of the digital tools and technologies, so that they will not be afraid of implementation of such technologies that is available for us. So we are really looking forward to provide a lot of value using these digital technologies to businesses across the globe. And that is one of our motives, and that will automatically work towards sustainable future, and that is where we are looking forward to it. And when we talk about sustainability and environment, Julian, I also have a nonprofit called Soothsayer Foundation, and we work towards environment. So all these things, what we look into sustainable future, climate change, and all that, that is very near and dear to my heart. So just wanted to let you know on that as well.
Oh, that's really interesting, Gaurav. And what are some of the challenges faced by the energy industry in achieving sustainability, and how can digital transformation help to overcome these hurdles?
Right. So, as I said about renewable energy, it is very intermittent, and the production is not continuous, as you can see from the fossil fuel, right? So there are definitely a lot of challenges that we'll have to overcome, and we'll have to work together as a team. And now, where AI and machine learning can help is, I'll take some example here. Let us say I'm using renewable energy. Let us take example of wind or solar. Now, and like solar is completely dependent on daylight, right? Now, I understand daylight will be during the daytime, but what happens during the nighttime? Or let's say if it is cloudy, the production will be low, or wind. So there are a lot of factors which will help deter companies to utilize those renewable energy. But if we can plan in such a way that if I know ahead of time about the weather patterns, it's going to rain, it's going to have a bright sunshine or whatever, or wind, so I can plan production of those peak and off-peak time of renewable energy. I can work with the manufacturing company so that they can plan their shift, they can plan their schedule in such a way that they can optimize usage of renewable energy over fossil fuel. So that is one of the things, so forecasting demand, right? Forecasting supply. So those factors are critical. And since all digital technologies, when we talk about IoT, when we talk about cloud, we talk about AI machine learning, we talk about big data, all these technologies come together so that we can create a unique solution that can help energy segment, so that they can utilize the power of digital technologies and then create more integrated solution that is beneficial for the manufacturers.
That's interesting, Gaurav. And how do you think AI can aid in the integration of renewable energy sources into our existing energy infrastructure?
Right. So again, we'll tie it to the forecasting thing that we were discussing about. So when we're talking about integration of renewable energy with our existing infrastructure, so let's think about you are using fossil fuel, right? And how I can leverage the technology where I can, if I'm able to forecast the demand. So there are multiple things that you have to consider here. One is demand side management, energy optimization, and grid balancing, right? So if you're able to predict the demand uh, properly, or what is going to happen, or how much energy will be required for my unit, I can utilize AI and machine learning where I can use available renewable energy more. And whenever there is a time when I can reduce usage of fossil fuel or traditional energy, that is one of the very unique combination. I'm not saying it is easy to implement. There are definitely challenges, but if you can plan, like, smart grids as an example, right? Now, whenever you talk about renewable energy, there are a lot of smaller companies that also are involved. Now, they also produce energy, right? So how you can take advantage, how you can bring them into the ecosystem of where, like, let's say the main energy suppliers can buy some energy from them, and then they can utilize that energy coming together along with renewable energy that manufacturing companies also are producing. So I've seen like a lot of manufacturing companies, they use solar energy. So they are running their plant, they are running their basic operation. So every company, like, if you can think about how I can plan my production schedule, how I can leverage the availability of renewable energy, then I can manage with my peak and off peak load. Let's say if I need during my peak time, I'll try to use as less energy intensive work as possible, right? So I can divide, or I can segregate, or I can scatter the energy usage instead of, like, during, let's say, 12 to 4, when you have hot sun, you need air conditioning, you need heavy production. You can plan schedule in such a way that, okay, during that time you would like to do some of the lower energy intensive work versus other times, right? Another thing is, like, uh, when we talk about renewable energy, during the daylight, you have high, it is producing a lot of energy, right? How I can save that energy that can be utilized when during the nighttime, as an example, when I'm not able to produce as much, right? So another thing that is very interesting is, like, we in America, we have solar panels on the homes now. So during the daytime, I'm producing the energy that I'm using, and I'm also selling it back to the supplier. So let's say DT Energy here. So they are buying it back. So I am supplying, I'm also producing energy. I'm using it, and excess energy is being utilized by them. So I get some of the benefits on my electricity bill, right? So we have to think about multifaceted approach here, where how I can, like, peer-to-peer transaction of energy that is being generated by me, how I can plan, how I can provide, uh, like from the utility companies, how I can provide off-peak rate, peak hours rate, so that I can help a household or manufacturers so that they can also start planning their utilization of those energies.
Very interesting to hear, Gaurav. I wanted to touch on machine learning as well. Machine learning, AI. How has it been leveraged to optimize energy consumption and reduce waste, especially in manufacturing processes and some of the industries you're working in?
Right. So that's again like a good topic about how I can reduce the waste in the manufacturing process. We have implemented various projects to overcome such problems. So we were working with a steel pipe manufacturing companies. So their problem was how you can reduce the waste. So they manufacture the steel pipe that is used in the oil wells, and the thickness of that pipe is very critical. Even like in a 0.2 mm, 0.1 mm thickness variation can cause a catastrophic issues when they are implemented or when it is used in the oil well. So we have used AI and machine learning to optimize the process parameters so that I can predict in advance of that event to happen, so that they can take some corrective actions to avoid that wastage to happen. Now, in energy, I was giving an example earlier about how I can save some of the excess energy that is produced by renewable energy. So the point is, I should be able to use some kind of mechanism where I can save that energy. Grid planning, grid stability is one of the key factors there as well, where, like, how I can integrate, how I can plan the usage of the electricity that is generated, or the energy that is generated, and how I can use these digital technologies and the things that are available with us, which was not being accessible in the past. It was always available, but accessibility is important here. So using these tools and technologies, you can reduce those wastages. So wastage of electricity, like let's say, for example, when you go to a big office buildings, right? These days, there are a lot of sensors that are placed in those buildings. Using those sensors, you can optimize about, let's say, temperature, right? Like, part where you are in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, like, you guys are having 45 degrees centigrade as a temperature. Now I have million square foot of building space. Uh, if I have to cool that building 24 by 7, it's going to consume lots and lots of energy. So one of the ways I can do is I can install some sensor so that if there is some activity on certain floor and certain segment, I will cool that segment or that section more compared to other sections so that I can save some energy. And this, we cannot just think about manual switching on and off. You have to have some kind of a digital mechanism to overcome this type of a problem. So if you think about, you have some sensors during the during the movement of a person, you can see the light switching on and off, which is again very common these days in our homes as well, right? So you can do that kind of implementation using digital technologies, where whatever is not necessary for you to like cool, in your case in the Middle East, then I will not cool as much. I can still keep it an optimal temperature. So that is one of the very classic example, like, how I can plan consumption of electricity or energy that is available. And trust me, it saves millions of dollars over the year when we talk about big manufacturing companies, big offices, warehouses, malls. So these places are places where we can immediately start saving, like traffic lights. A lot of times, like, and I'm from India, a lot of times we have seen in the past, now things are changing. Um, like traffic lights are on even during daytime, which is not needed, right? So it is very simple solution. You just put a sensor. That sensor will say there is enough light, and obviously like the traffic light should be automatically switched off. When it is not sufficient lights outside, it will switch on. So those type of things, which were like, the technology was available, but it was very expensive. Now these digital technologies, using these tools that are available to us, we can build more complex solution which will provide more efficiency to, and ultimately on top of it, Julian, it will save money to the companies, right? Like, if I can plan this type of a thing, it will save tons of money over the period of year.
Thanks, Gaurav. And just before we go, we've got ADIPEC 2023 coming up in October this year. What are you looking forward to at ADIPEC, and how are you participating?
Yeah, thanks, Julian. So again, EDIPAC is very near to me. I was there last year. So this will be our second year at EDIPAC. I was also part of one of the roundtable conferences at EDIPAC last year, where we were discussing about digital technologies, and very exciting thing that EDIPAC brings up every year. So we will be in hall number 1, stand 1130. We'll be part of Mazrui group, where we are having a booth with Mazrui. During EDIPAC, like, we will be showcasing our AI-driven solution, demonstrate how we can change energy industry. We will also demonstrate and use cases and success stories, illustrations about how digital technologies, AI applications have been implemented to optimize energy, reduce carbon emission, and enhance overall sustainability. At EDIPAC, like, one of the good thing I like about is there are a lot of good things, but one of the good things is an ideal platform to engage with industry stakeholders, clients, fellows, learn from them. It's not about just talking about what you do. We can also learn, collaborate. We are looking forward to forge some kind of partnerships there, where we can help like-minded people who are working towards creating some of the unique energy solution. And so our focus is on AI machine learning. We would like to create more and more awareness about how digital technologies, AI, machine learning, big data, etc., can help you, and it is not difficult for you to adopt. So creating awareness, learning from the fellow innovators, other companies, and obviously doing some kind of a networking is the primary goal that we have at EDIPEC this year. And I wish you good luck for EDIPEC 2023. And we are looking forward to seeing you, Julian, there.
Thanks, Gaurav. Yes, I look forward to seeing you in Abu Dhabi in early October. I just want to thank you for making the time to speak to me from America and for sharing your insights and views on this important topic about AI and machine learning. Thanks a lot, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Julian. My pleasure. Have a good evening and see you soon.
Thanks everyone for watching, and I look forward to bringing you more engaging discussions soon.